I'm Chloe. I'm 29, actually in 2 weeks. I wasn't born in Nottingham, but it very quickly became my hometown. Love the people, love the city, love the liberalness of it. It feels like a really vibrant free city, so it's very quickly become my home. Been here for about 5 years. I'm at uni, I work part-time, and I've been with the network for 2-3 years. When I moved to Nottingham, about 5 years ago, I spent 3 years in the city feeling a little bit, I wouldn't say lost, but a little bit disconnected. And I thought the network was a great way of making friends, connecting with the community, getting to know the city, because I just didn't know where I am, full stop. I'd never been to Nottingham before I moved here. So it was definitely like a sort of adjustment change, so I thought it would really help. And it's quickly become, just part of my life, really. My fiancée, her name is Eve, she's fabulous. We met about 4 years ago, really quickly got engaged. We've had a long engagement and we're getting married next year. Thinking about the whole baby thing as well in the next couple of years, so yeah.
Have you been to a same-sex wedding?
I have. It was so beautiful. It was last year, one of my really close friends got married to her girlfriend, now wife. For me, the thing that struck me was that it was just a wedding. It was beautiful because it was love, but it was just the same love as everyone else. It wasn't anything different. Beautiful day, 2 people. They had their little boy with them. Do you know what I mean? It was a gorgeous, gorgeous day. And it just struck me how it was just the same as any other wedding I've ever been to. And I think if people that had reservations about same-sex marriage or disagreements, if they went to that wedding, they would just see the love in the room and that it was just any wedding they've ever been to. It was gorgeous.
I think it's really important to note that it is different and important because we haven't had it for that long.
Yeah, of course.
But at the same time, it really is that it's just love. How important is it to you that we can get married now?
Major. I mean, like I said, I'm getting married next year, and without people, on the streets 10 years ago and campaigning and protesting and advocating, it wouldn't be a possibility for me. And I think with same-sex marriage, of course, with marriage in general, you get the legal protections, end-of-life protections, financial protections, but it's also just a statement that I get to have a day about my love as much as you do. So it's important for all of those reasons, for all those, I wouldn't say logistics, but all of those sort of technical things in the background. But it's also important just to show your love like everybody else, which I'm really excited to do next year.
I think it's so important that you mention the technicalities and the legal aspects.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's stuff in hospital, if it's your spouse, they can't release stuff, or God forbid you die, things don't automatically go to you, or with adoption, if your partner dies and you're not on the birth certificate.
There's so many things to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. This is really pertinent to you because it's next year. What's your wedding going to look like?
So it's in October, so we're thinking autumn, cosy, burgundies, burnt oranges, pumpkins, that sort of thing. We're doing a registry office first, then we're going to a ceremony. Just love, laughter, family, bit of booze. Yeah, just an overall great day, so we're thinking that sort of aesthetic, but I can't wait.
Have you got honeymoon planned?
We haven't as of yet. Being a student you're not the wealthiest of people, so the funds are a little bit deplenished at the minute, especially paying for the wedding. So we're planning it, nothing booked, but we want to go around Europe a little bit. We thought about it and we both like exploring when we're on holiday. So we thought if we can hit as many countries in 2 weeks, then it's sort of we've seen a lot of things. And then our friends are planning a trip to Italy, and we thought we would go around Europe and then end up in Italy with our friends. So that's the plan. We're going to, I think, Scotland. It's a glamping pod for 4 days. It's sort of a mini honeymoon, but then once we get the funds, we'll be jetting off.
That's such a good idea. Are you going to do predominantly warm Europe or cold Europe?
I think warm. I think
Spain.
the further you go up, the more expensive. I went to Norway about 15 years ago and it was so expensive. So with everything rising up all over the world, I think we're going to avoid Scandinavian countries. For the benefit of funds, I think we're going to stick to warm Europe.
Obviously, you've just said you're thinking about doing the baby thing. How important is it to be able to do that?
Again, major. Everybody has the right to create a family, including us. And I think we'll be great parents. Do you know what I mean? I think we will teach our child kindness and compassion and empathy and sort of support our child to achieve its potential. I think, aside from everything, I think we'll just be really good at it. Obviously, no parent is perfect, but yeah, it's majorly important.
I think there's often we talk so much about the right side of it, and it's obviously massively important. I've got one of my parents' oldest friends and my sister's best friends. She had 2 mums and one of them died, which is obviously awful.
Yeah.
But it meant that her partner, who was obviously also the girl's mum, just not biologically, she had to then take the kid to court while her mum was undergoing all sorts of treatment, bless her, and go through like a really arduous adoption process so that eventually she did die. She wouldn't be taken off her.
So sad.
It's wild when you think about that.
It's so sad.
And she was like 9, she had no idea what's going on, and it's just
because she's her mum.
And it's crazy because if that was a hetero family, that wouldn't have happened.
No.
Also, I didn't realise, I looked at it last night, the term for a queer family is a rainbow family.
It's cute, isn't it?
And I didn't know that. And I think that's so lovely. I know you said that your friends that you went to the wedding of, they've got a kid. Do you know, is it just them or do you know any other rainbow families?
There's a member of the network who's recently become a parent. There's a couple of people, like close friends. I think when you have a certain like view of the world, you obviously, I think you surround yourself with people who also share that view of the world. So I do have a lot of like gay friends, some rainbow families, same-sex marriages. It is important to sort of go outside of that bubble and, you know, sort of step into the world of the people that disagree with you, because that's healthy. That's how we move. And, you know, we may disagree with things that people say, like especially in the debate. I hate calling it a debate because it's lives involved. You know, we debate whether to change roundabouts. We don't debate whether people have access to fertility treatment, if they can symbolise their love like everyone else. It's not a debate, but those conversations, I think it's difficult because you feel scared of getting hurt going into that conversation, because obviously there are some things that people say that disagree with LGBTQ plus rights that is hurtful, but we will never get anywhere by engaging with that conversation. So I think that's really important.
A really good point, because I think that it is really scary to put yourself out there in the line of fire.
It is.
Change doesn't happen unless you put yourself in an uncomfortable position, whether that's like you and me at the pub, or if it's people in like Nadia Whittam doing her bit. I think it goes across all like levels of it, doesn't
Definitely. And I think it's on a protesting level, but it's also on a everyday level, calling out things at work, over the dinner table, you know, it's things like that. And it doesn't have to be this grand protest and campaign and gesture, which are needed, but just simply at work saying, why did you use that language? Challenging, stepping into that world and asking them why they have that point of view. I think it really does not turn people's minds, but open their minds up to the fact that LGBT people are just people. We're just people that go to work, you know, we marry, we do these things like marry, have children, campaign, but we also just get up, go to the coffee shop. It's just people. I also think that the way we're going to get forward with LGBTQ plus rights in general, sort of same-sex marriage and all these issues, we need legislation, we need things to move in that aspect, but we just need to foster and nurture a more compassionate society where we just see each other as human beings, because when you see someone as not a human being, that's when things can go awfully wrong, which it has done in the past. So I think it's just about questioning, being curious, having conversations, dipping your toe into other people's worlds and having a conversation about it, and just sort of nurturing, fostering a society that just sees people as people. Obviously we need the protesting, we need things to move in terms of law, we need things to move in terms of policy and spaces and all that, and resources and care and support, but I worry that that doesn't actually address the really rooted beliefs and ideas and people's perspectives, because if you change a law, I'm not sure that's going to change a lot of people's minds in their way of thinking. It's actually having those low level, or not low level, but everyday conversations that I think really contributes to the change overall, which is a little bit overlooked. And I think that's what we do in the network.